An epic tale of storm, mystery, and the unseen world. The Restless Heart. Tamim Dari was not an ordinary man. Born in the lands of the Romans and raised in the traditions of Christianity, he was a man of intelligence, wisdom, and spiritual curiosity. Though his people were content with the path of their ancestors, Tamim's soul was stirred. He yearned for something more, something true. He had heard tales of a final prophet to rise from the deserts of Arabia, a man who would bring clarity to the confused and light to those wandering in darkness. The idea had taken root in his heart, but the truth was still hidden in the fog. Seeking purpose and guided by a gnawing need for spiritual understanding, Tamim joined a group of 30 men on a voyage across the vast Mediterranean Sea. These were men of his own kind, Romans, Christians, and sailors. Their ship was strong, their supplies plentiful, and their destination known only to them and God. The storm that had no end. For the first few days, the sea was calm, with the sky painted in soft shades of blue and pink. The sailors joked, sang hymns, and whispered legends of distant islands and lost lands. But nature, as if stirred by unseen hands, suddenly turned fierce. A black cloud rose on the horizon like an omen. The winds screamed, the waters rose like towers, and the calm turned into chaos. Tamim and his companions tried to control their ship, but the ocean would not be tamed. It was as if it had a purpose, to drag them away from the known world and toward the heart of mystery. For 30 days, an entire month, they were lost at sea, their ship pushed from wave to wave, tossed like a toy in the hands of a giant. Hunger, fear, and hopelessness crept aboard like silent passengers. They had lost all sense of direction. The stars were hidden, and the sun gave them no guidance. And then, one day, they saw it. A shadow on the water. An island. Land of silence. The island was unlike anything they had seen. It was neither lush nor barren. It was simply still. The trees stood like watchers. No birds flew, no waves crashed upon the shore. It was eerily silent. Driven by desperation and curiosity, they anchored the ship and stepped ashore. The ground beneath their feet was soft and damp. The air was thick, not with mist, but with a sense of watching. They could not shake the feeling that they were not alone. As they walked cautiously, something stirred in the distance. A figure emerged from the shadows, the beast of the island. The figure was unlike anything they had seen. It was covered head to toe in thick hair, so much that no one could tell the front from the back. Was it man? Was it beast? It approached them with fast but hesitant steps, its body swaying like it was unused to walking on even ground. When it came close, it spoke. Yes, it spoke. But the voice was strange, neither male nor female. "I am Al-Jassasa," it said. The companions looked at each other, confused and afraid. "What is Al-Jassasa?" one of them asked. But the creature did not answer directly. "Go to the monastery," it said. "There is a man there. He is eager to meet you." Before they could ask further questions, the creature disappeared into the trees. The Monastery of Chains. With hearts pounding, Tamim and his companions followed the direction the beast had indicated. There, nestled between rocky cliffs, stood a decaying structure. A monastery built of dark stones, its roof half collapsed, vines creeping over its walls like veins over old skin. They entered cautiously, torches in hand. The air inside was cold, and a strange smell lingered, metal perhaps, or something older. And there in the very center of the hall they saw him. A man, or what looked like one. His body was large and powerful, but he was bound in chains thicker than a man's arm. His hands were shackled to his neck with iron, and his legs were fastened from knees to ankles. His skin was pale, his hair wild, and his eyes— One of his eyes was as if plucked out, hanging swollen like a grape, while the other burned with a darkness that pierced right through them. The questions of the chained one. He lifted his head and looked at them. A voice emerged, not loud but heavy, like the grinding of stone.
"Who are you?"
he asked. They replied, explaining that they were travelers from Rome, cast adrift by the sea, now stranded on this island. The chained figure sat up slightly, the chains creaking. "Tell me," he said, "about the prophet who has emerged among the Arabs. Has he appeared?" Tamim, though unsure of what to say, replied, "Yes. A man named Muhammad has declared himself the messenger of God. He has settled in Yathrib, and people are believing in him." The chained man's expression darkened. "Has the time come, then? Has the truth spread?" They nodded. At that, the man smiled, but it was not a smile of joy. It was the grim smile of one who waits in the dark for his moment. The revelation. "I am the Masih ad-Dajjal," he said, "the false Messiah. My time is near. Soon I shall be released. When I am freed, I will travel the earth in 40 days. One day as long as a year, one day as a month, one as a week, and the rest like your days. I will enter every city on this earth except for 2, Makkah and Medina. Angels guard their gates, armed with swords, and I shall not pass." The companions were frozen. They had heard legends of the Dajjal, the great deceiver who would claim divinity, who would perform miracles to mislead the people. But now they had seen him, trapped, waiting, knowing. The return. With trembling limbs and shocked minds, Tamim and his group left the island. The sea, now calm, allowed them passage. They returned not just as survivors, but as witnesses to a truth few would ever believe. Tamim, shaken to his soul, traveled to Arabia. He had heard of Muhammad before, but now he had no doubt. The man he had seen chained on that island was real, and so too was the prophet of truth. He reached Medina and embraced Islam, narrating every detail of his journey to the prophet. The prophet confirms. The messenger of Allah stood before his companions in the mosque. His voice was solemn.
"O people," he said, "listen to what Tamim Dari has told me. He has spoken truthfully. I had told you about the Dajjal, that he is in the east, in a sea. Now Tamim has seen him with his own eyes."
This confirms all I have told you. The mosque fell silent. The companions were in awe. A tale they had heard from the lips of their prophet now stood confirmed by a man who had seen it all. A warning for the Ummah. The prophet instructed his followers to guard themselves from the fitna, trial of Dajjal. He taught them to recite, "O Allah, I seek refuge in you from the trial of the false Messiah." He advised the recitation of Surah Al-Kahf, especially the first and last 10 verses every Friday, as protection against the deception of the Dajjal. A chain that still waits. To this day, Dajjal remains in chains on an unknown island, watched over by the decree of Allah. But the hour will come when he shall be released. His trials will be unlike any the world has known. Deceit, false miracles, power to cause rain or famine, and the ability to mislead hearts. And those who are not anchored in truth will be swept away. The story of Tamim Dari is not just a story, it is a warning, a testimony, and a call to faith. For one day the chains will break, and the world must be ready.